Hi everyone! So I've decided to make this video to show you how to load a Java JNA wrapper for Tesseract OCR APIs into Java Eclipse and how to get it to successfully read an image. Now, as you all may know, Tesseract is written in C# and anyone working with Java will need a wrapper, of course, to ensure that this is possible. Therefore, Tess4j is ideal for this, and it's an open source piece of software that is available on the internet for anybody to use, so it's pretty handy. Now, I myself, I've spent a long time trying to get this set up, and I found that there's like very limited documentation on how to use it, or how to set it up even, as well as like try to manipulate it a bit. So I've decided to create a video to help anybody wanting to start exploring OCR and that are with Java and that are thinking of using the likes of Tesseract, but having to use, of course, Tess4j Java wrapper to make this possible. Okay, so what you're going to need is you're going to need the following, which I've listed here. Is you're going to need Eclipse. You're going to need Tess4j, which is downloadable on this link, and then libtesseract download, which is available also at this link. The links, of course, will be found at the bottom in the description panel below this video. So yeah, I was saying here, you need Tess4j and libtesseract download. It should be in with the Tess4j zip file that we're going to download in a moment, but the problem is that I found personally that it wasn't there. So just in case you end up downloading a version that doesn't have this, it is possible if you type it into Google to find a download for it, which here's a handy one that I had to use to download it. So there are some documentations out there that will explain to you how to do this. There is a guy that has made a video. He was using NetBeans, but I found that his was very simple and it was missing quite a bit. It wasn't in detail and it wasn't working for me. So I'm basically showing like in depth, get everything going, and it should hopefully work for you because I spent a long time trying to get this to work. So I'm of course going to assume I have Eclipse and everybody's already got Eclipse downloaded. So if we go to the internet and follow the first link for Tess4j. So if you type it into SourceForge, you will come to the summary page, and this will just have a description, a Java JNA wrapper for Tesseract OCR. And there's a box here to download. You can also go and look at the files, reviews, etc. of the code. It's downloaded pretty frequently and it's changed and zipped up pretty frequently also. So if you select this, it will download, and it will download as a zip file. I've already done this before. So usually whenever I download things off the internet, they are saved into my downloads folder. So if I go into Windows Explorer and I go into my downloads folder, it is here. This is the zip file. So when you have the zip file, you're going to need to extract it or you can't manipulate it. So you just right click it and extract all. If you're unable for any reason that you can't extract a zip file, then you're going to have to download the capabilities, which are easy enough to do. If need be, find another video that will explain it, but hopefully all of you guys will be able to or have the ability and knowledge to know how to extract and build a zip file. So you just want to click to extract all, and then you can choose where you want to extract it. I personally, as you can see up here, have already extracted it, and I chose to extract it just in the downloads folder. If you want, you can extract it and put it into the workspace, your Eclipse workspace, so it's easy enough to manipulate, but I really don't see much of a difference, so I just went and I extracted it here. So you just click extract. I've already done that, and then it's sitting here. Okay, so what you're going to want to do next is you're going to want to have to go into your Eclipse. So here's just a nice brand spanking clean Eclipse. Okay, so you're going to want to import the project. So you will get this list, click on General, and you want to import a project from folder or archive. So if you click Next, you'll come to this page, click on Directory, and then search for the file. In this case, it was in my in my downloads, which is near my documents. So it'll be in this PC and downloads, and here it is. And I will select that, click OK. It will come up here, import as an Eclipse project. Nothing else needs to be selected. Click Finish. And there you go. It has been imported here. Don't worry about any of the errors or whatever. We're not necessarily going to use this import. We're going to extract certain files and folders from it and use it instead. So what we're going to do as well is we are going to create a new, if we scroll across, Java project. You can also search for it in the project section. So just type Java and click Java project, click Next, and then just give it a name, any name you'd like. I have given it, or I shall give it Tess4j name. It's kind of obvious, we all know this. And then I don't think there's anything else I need to do, so just click Finish. So it has created a folder. Insert the source. Oh, it has created a package. So you want to create a package and call it Tess4j. This can be done by clicking New and Package, and then just name it. And then within that, I've created a class, which you can do by clicking on Class, and then I've just named that class Test. So if we open that, it's just an empty class. I haven't really put anything into it yet. It's just saying the package and the class name. We'll get back to that momentarily. So if we go back to our Tess4j files that we just imported, there are a few files that we're going to need to drag across. So if we open some of these, we can see. So up here, Tess4j, we are going to need to... So if we open them up, we'll be able to see. So we're going to need this file. Okay? So if we just want to drag this and drop it in our source file. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, they seem pretty similar. So I'm just going to move this one across. net.sourceforge.tess4j. We're going to need some of the files in here, okay? So we're just going to drag and, again, drop that up in there. Perfect. These are really handy to have, actually. In here, if you will see, it says resources, and they used the Tess4j to read their images that they used to read. So I'm just going to click here, and I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to call the folder images. Just plain and simple, these are the images that we're going to test. And then we can throw some of these in. So let's throw a good old TIFF file, PNG file. They're all the same, your text, but they're just different formats. So we'll drag those in, drop them in there. Perfect. So we've got a couple of images that we're going to be able to manipulate later. So that's awesome. And we will close these down. Okay, so the next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to move some of these jar files, and we're going to have to put them up in our new package. So what we're going to want to do first is we're going to want to create another folder for this, just to put them all together so they don't get lost. And we'll call it library, or lib, because it's handy. So if we're looking here, there are quite a few of these files that we're going to need to download, if we need to copy over. So bear with me while I try to remember, because they are just strangely named. I wrote down a list here. So we are going to need Ghost. So if we select Ghost, we are going to need image.io. We are going to need JNA. We are going to need JUnit. We are going to need Commons.io. We are going to need lept4j, and we are going to need Tess4j, which is above at the top here. Okay, so these are the only ones we really need right now. So if we want to grab these and drag them into the library, drag and drop. That's copied them over. In doing that, they've completely removed from this other folder, which is okay. So we will close that. Okay. But the problem with this is we've just created a folder that's just got jar files, and they're just sitting there, and they're not really doing anything, so we kind of need them to do something. We're going to kind of need to build a path with them. We're going to have to import them in. So if we click on our package, the Tess4j package, and we scroll to the bottom to our properties, okay, we want to do a Java build path, okay, and we're going to go along the top here, and we're going to click on libraries. Now we need to add these jars to our folder so that they actually work and do what we need them to do. And if we look in here, we've got the library folder, and we have all of these. So if we just select them all, click OK, and these will put them here. And then if we click apply, that's them done, and click OK. So these have all changed to say that they've been used, but also they will be, in a new folder that was created called reference libraries. So we have them all set up, which is perfect and ideal and exactly what we need. Okay. So there are a couple of download files that we need, DLLs, right? And we need to find them. I remember having to search and hunt for them. Oh, there's a lib Tesseract one that I said that we previously might have needed to download. This one's already here, which is pretty handy. So if we just want to drag this and drop it into, I actually dragged it into the wrong one, into our net SourceForge Tess4j folder. So we're just going to drag and drop it in there. Okay. And there's one more file that we're going to need to find, which is liblept168dll. So if we just look here, let's see. Okay, so this is basically like I've looked through here and I can't seem to find this DLL that we need. Okay, now this is just a perfect example of not being able to find the files that we need. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not entirely sure whether we actually need them or not, but from what documentation and research that I've been able to find, there are some people that have said that this is one of the DLLs that I need. So just because I've got it working and I've had this DLL in my files previously, I'm going to go out of my way to find it. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look for it on the internet. Okay, so if we're looking at source for where we got our Tess4j, if we click on files, there's not just Tess4j that you can download, there's also lept4j. Okay, so I would like you to click on the lept4j, and you click on it, and then click on the first one. And then it'll bring you in and it'll have a zip file here, so just select the zip file, okay, lept4j, and whichever version it is, because the versions continuously change because it's it's open source software. So just click on whichever one's here, zip, and it will download down here in your zip files, which I've already downloaded. And then we'll go to our downloads, okay, and there it is, and then just extract it like normal. And if we go into the file, we will find it. So I'm going to make life easier for myself, and I'm going to search for it. Now, one of the things the numbers continuously change. Like, one of the things I downloaded was liblept168, which you can previously see here, but as you can see from the results, there's actually a different version, which is clearly more new. So if we just click on this one. Okay, so since we found it, it's easy enough. Just right click, click, copy, and then go to our Eclipse. And since we put the other DLL there, we're going to want to put this one in with it. So just right click this folder and paste. And there it is. Exactly where we needed it. Perfect. Okay. So one of the next things we're going to have to do is we're going to have to put in, let me just make this smaller and more manageable. Okay, we're going to have to move the test data folder over, okay? So this is really important. This is a library of letters, English letters, because this one is specifically in English, that the software will use to basically, whenever it's reading a piece of an image with text, it will use this to kind of figure out what the letters are and then print out the letters and symbols and whatnot. So we're going to need this folder. So if we just move this up, into our Tess4j package, there it is, and that is all we really need from there at the moment, okay? So if we go into here and we open up our test data, okay? So this is just blank. Now there is a lot of code that we need to put in, and I've already sourced this, and there's different versions of it out there that mostly looks the same, but this is the one I've used, and this is the one that works for me, okay? So if we go down here, okay, I'm just going to copy and paste this code. And then I'm going to paste. And I called this differently, called it test. Okay. So I've also commented this one to make it more clear. Just save that. Okay, so there's a couple of imports here. IO file, SourceForge, not SourceForge4j, which is this file folder. Okay, and then public void throw IO exception. So we want to create a new file, image file, new file. Okay, so this is basically where we're going to get the file from. Okay, the one I previously sourced for came from this folder, but if we check here, we save them here in images. So if we right click on properties, this will give you the location of where it is, and then we copy the location and go back. One of the important things that you need to be aware of whenever you're putting a file location down is that you actually need to have 2 backslashes in between each. Where there's usually 1, you need to have 2, okay? And it needs to be in quotation marks. So if we just place this here and then make sure that they're all 2, because it's not liking this that it's not 2, and then we're going there, and this one's actually called Eurotest. Eurotext dot, and really whichever. I'm going to go with TIFF because this one can extract TIFF files. Okay, so when creating a new Tesseract instance and setting the data path that the reference trained data in the English language come from, that was our test data folder. Okay, we're going to want to have to put an instance, an iTesseract instance, a new one. We're going to have to set the data path for that one because that's where the library is, and it's really quite important when trying to work it because there has been a couple of people out there that have completely excluded this part, and they have somehow made it work. I found one person said that we needed to set the data path, and when I did, it worked. So just make sure that we set the data path. So if we want to, the data path is this folder, so you just click on properties, and then we get the location, and make sure, of course, double backslash and in quotation marks, and paste it in there. It's unhappy because it's not doubles, so if we just go through and put doubles. There, perfect, okay? So we set the data path. So we're going to make a try catch to run the OCR on the document, okay? So we set a string, the result is a string, the instance asking it to do the OCR, and it's an image file. And then we're going to want it to print out a result. And then with the catch, we want it to catch and then deliver an error message if the OCR were to fail, okay? So if we just save that and then click run, we'll make this bigger first, okay, and then click run. So an error has occurred, and this happened to me a lot. Okay, so a logger cannot be resolved to a type. Well, I do remember there was another DTLL that we were missing. Might be what was wrong. As you can see, so many different errors occurred for so many different reasons, and that's why I'm just saying put in all of these, irrespective of whether they actually help any, because once I put them all in, it worked. So let's close this and find it. So what we're going to be looking for is we're going to be looking for another folder or another DLL. So I don't really remember if it was here, but we're going to hunt for it anyway, and you never know, it might be here. Nope, not there. It is not there. It is there. Nope. Is it here? Okay, so it's here in this folder. So maybe this. Oh, and here, sorry, it might be here. So this might be the one we need. So we're just gonna drag and drop right up here. Let's drag and drop. Give us a save and try again. There are also a couple of jar files that we didn't quite drag over, so we're going to drag them over. So we're going to drag over logback and log4j's. Okay, so we're going to drag them over into our library folder. This one, SLF4j and JUL-2-SLF4j. So these are really important because without these it wasn't working, okay? So as you can see, I imported them, or I put them into the library file, and then I added them as jar files, and I clicked run. It takes a moment while the code tries to figure out and read the file that we attached, and wonderful, we have ourselves a response, okay? So this has returned this exactly. So if you bear with me, I will find the original image. Okay, so I found the original, so if we just bring that up here. So, as you can see, it's pretty accurate. My German and Spanish isn't very good, but it does look pretty good. It's got all of the... Oh, I found one error down here. It recognized that as an A, or an E rather, but apparently it's an A. But all in all, that's pretty accurate, considering it's got symbols included in there. There's a $sign, there's numbers, there's brackets of all different types, hashtag, exclamation mark, percentage signs, capitals, lower cases, and whatnot, and spaces. And as you can see from the image as well, it's not exactly a perfect quality, and it's slightly slanted, but the code still managed to read it. And it also made sure that every line it read was in an individual line. They didn't just put everything that was read in a single line, which is ideal. So what we can do to further this test is we can try another image. So I have another image here. So if we just go here, this test one, as you can see, it's a pretty simple one. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Clear as day. So if we just copy this one, go back here and paste it in there. Okay, that's a JPEG file. Test.jpg. Perfect. Click save and run. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Exactly, it prints it out perfect. So what we can see there as well is that it ran an image, a TIFF file, a JPEG file. Let's try different types of files just to show that they work. So Euro text, we have a PNG file. So if we save that and run that, it reads a PNG file, which is perfect and very handy. And then I have one more there, which is a PDF. So let's see if it will read the PDF file. Now, bearing in mind, depending on the size of the file, what type of file it is, it will take its time. As you could see with this one, it took its time. However, it did manage to read it, so it did read a PDF file. Okay, one of the things you need to ensure as well whenever you're got images is you want the best quality image as you can, and you want that any letters that it's reading are clear, because this is just a basic piece of software that will read if it can see and recognize letters and words, okay? And also, as you can see that yes, it did manage to read other languages, but this primarily test data has an English configuration. If you need or want any other languages, please look on Google and see if you can find any other that will help with that. Because yeah, this is primarily for the English language, but it does pick up letters pretty good. I'm talking about any sort of accents or, you know, different types of letters that are not common to the English language. But yeah, so that goes through, I've just went through all of the steps there. I've tried to explain it the best I can. It has taken me a while to realize and to get this to work, but I found that if you incorporate all of these steps, it does work. I don't know if anything here isn't needed or is needed, but when it's all there, it does work. So I really strongly suggest that you use it. If you have any questions or you like this video or if you like this video, please can you leave a comment below, give me a thumbs up and let me know. If you have any problems and you ask, I will try my hardest to help. If not, I can refer you to a couple people that I've met on the internet that should know how to solve these problems. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope this helped.